Good morning, everyone. So, when things happen in the world, when things happen in the place I live or the country, I often I look at the situation and going, how does that relate to, for example, our brother Jesus? How does that relate to what he went through and how people reacted and this and that? So I found something I'd like to read first and then talk about our current situation with all that kind of stuff. I find it interesting on how when one really trusts God, when one trusts our Father, our Heavenly Parent, and reaches back to the lessons that somehow, why do I have to reach back 2,000 years ago, 4,000 years, 6,000 years ago? How come there isn't anything now here, right now, happening per se that I can reach back to? Yes, I do. The divine principle. Yes, I can. The true parent, which is not being disputed within our own midst. And I'm going, well, okay, reach back to 2,000 years ago and what happened to Jesus. Again, we absolutely, as humankind, the smartest beings on earth, have everything. We can create, we can invent, we can, same thing kind of, we have free will, free choice in everything, including procreation. We're designed in this fabulous, amazing way, and yet we seem to be also the absolute dumbest creation of God. We don't learn from anything. Everything just keeps repeating itself. And even though we have the Old Testament, the New Testament, the completed testament, which is the blessing, the return to God's lineage, and tell Satan or his lineage or what he started in the Garden of Eden, whatever, he's restoring now. It is, but people have a hard time believing that. We kind of like to just don't, but anyway, I could go on and on and on about that. Trying to figure out, I'm not trying to figure out God. I'm not trying to figure out Jesus. I'm not trying to figure out spirit worlds or the angels or other things in nature. That I'm just trying to figure out human beings, humankind. I'm not getting it. I'm really not getting it. Here's John 8. Starting with John 8:12. Jesus, the light of the world. When Jesus spoke to the people again, he said, I am the light of the world. Anyone who follows me will not be walking in the dark, but will have the light of life. Now, I can't speak for anyone else but me. It's true. It is 100% absolute truth. But with that comes responsibility too. We like the words. We like to, until. One has to believe 100%. You don't get it. There is no, well, okay, I'll believe until, and then I'm going to start. Yes. I just mentioned one little thing where I saw a quiz and it said, who's the stepfather, a Bible quiz, who's the stepfather of Jesus? And then there were 4, including Joseph. I went in, I said, who says that Joseph was the stepfather of Jesus and not his biological father. In the first book in the New Testament, in Matthew, the first part, it shows the genealogy of Jesus. What does that mean? His ancestry. Okay, what does that mean? So now you have your own ancestry. Everyone does. And at the end of that, it says, the last one of that genealogy of Jesus Christ is Joseph, the husband of Mary. Oh, okay. Now, if someone were to tell you, in your genealogy, in your ancestry, and your father was the husband of your mother, and people start coming saying, yeah, but no, really, when it comes down to it, you were not conceived like that. What would you say? Now, I guess people just like the supernatural and they want something real special attached to Jesus. Jesus was special enough. So now if Mary suddenly, and of course Mary no doubt was a virgin. Oh, could that have been a problem at that time? Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. Now, again, Joseph maybe had his own ideas on who he wanted to marry. And maybe he needed a little bit of a push from spirit world. You need to marry this one. That's a pure one. That's a good one. And we have a very, very good example now in the completed Testament age with true father and true mother. True father was married beforehand. Decided, well, went with, which was, according to Korean tradition, a thing that you do, that your parents get you married to whomever, and you say yes. All right, that didn't work out. Then there were other things, and it's kind of until true father truly came across the one. Okay. So again, so it is right there in the Bible, Matthew, in the first chapter, the genealogy, the ancestry of Jesus to be born as the child that he was, the young man and the adult he grew into, under the 100% guidance of God. Yet we wanted something to be that we can't be. Why? So we can find excuses to not be as good, to not actually, what does it mean to follow someone? What does that mean? To follow someone means I like what there is. I want to be like that. Grow to that. Get understanding to that. Right? Well, anyway, I don't want to tell you what people came back at with me, and I just said what I had to say. Who says that Joseph was not Jesus' biological father? Because in the Bible, why is that in there? Why is that in there then? Oh, I guess, how is it that so many people just kind of skip over that? Not realizing, hey, wait a second. It says right there at the end, oh, interesting. And why would that, if we were to acknowledge, oh, Joseph actually was Jesus' father. And because of his lineage, his ancestry, and because of the purity of Mary, Jesus could be born. But in the way that God designed children to be born, with a mom and a dad. Really? Okay. I am not going to go and argue with people out there. That's up to everybody's own willingness to just understand God's heart. Yes or not. I guess that's why we're so comfortable with all the excuses out there. and keep breaking the 10 Commandments every which way we want to. Right? Yes? No? Okay. Even very faithful people. Yeah. So here we go. Then we'll get into the other thing I want to talk about. A discussion on the testimony of Jesus to himself. At this, the Pharisees, the Democrats, said to him, "You are testifying on your own behalf. Your testimony is not true." Jesus replied, "Are truly truthful should be in President Trump. Even though I am testifying on my own behalf, my testimony is still true, because I know where I have come from and where I am going, but you do not know where I come from or where I am going. You judge by human standards. I judge no one, but if I judge, my judgment will be true, because I am not alone. The one who sent me is with me, and in your law it is written that the testimony of 2 witnesses is true. I testify on my own behalf, but the Father who sent me testifies on my behalf too." Oh, wait a minute. So Jesus says that we can have God, our Father in heaven, our parent in heaven, he can testify for us and be considered a second witness. Well, I wonder how that would go over in courts. Interesting. They asked him, "Where is your Father then?" Jesus answered, "You do not know me, nor do you know my Father. If you did know me, you would know my Father as well." He spoke these words in the treasury while teaching in the temple. No one arrested him because his hour had not yet come. Aha. But he was accused of what? Again he said to them, "I am going away. You will look for me and you will die in your sin. Where I am going, you cannot come." So the Jews said to one another, "Is he going to kill himself, that he says, 'Where I am going, you cannot come'?" Jesus went on, You are from below. I am from above. You are of this world. I am not of this world. I have told you already, you will die in your sins. Yes, if you do not believe that I am he, you will die in your sins." So they said to him, "Who are you?" Jesus answered, "What I have told you from the outset. About you I have much to say and much to judge, but the one who sent me is true, and what I declared to the world I have learned from him." They did not recognize that he was talking to them about the Father. So Jesus said, "When you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am he, and that I do nothing of my own accord. What I say is what the Father has taught me. He who sent me is with me, and has not left me to myself, for I always do what pleases him." As he was saying this, many came to believe in him. Did they? It didn't change his fate, did it? On earth. Didn't change it one bit. Because ye of little faith. When it comes down to it, it's just what it is. So I've seen. Now, okay, so it is 2.5 years later. Oh gosh, when did they not persecute and judge President Trump? The Democrats. When did they not? And where were the Republicans truly supporting their president? Huh? You really wonder. I'm amazed over the age of that man and on how he's just steadfast. Okay. Yeah, some call it narcissism. Well, okay, then call Jesus a narcissist too then. Yes? All right. Jesus says, well, I'm going to judge no one. I'm not going to persecute no one. You're going to have to figure out on your own what the right thing is to do. Here we are. We have this witch hunt going on, costing us I don't know how much, continuously. In the meantime, people here who need the help or other places in our country can't get it. Yeah. Amazes me. when I look at Jesus's predicament when he came to on how the people felt, the Pharisees, the high priests, all felt threatened by him because he brought what? It's called the New Testament. It's the switch from the Old Testament to the New Testament. When I see that, I'm going, yeah, wow, what similarities? We had a president, people really kind of doubted, okay, what? No. Yeah, businessman. He doesn't, yeah. But, amazingly, 4 years, and he did amazing. He really did. Started to change certain things. Said, okay. Right? And then, yes, only through cheating. Was he not in office for another 4 years? But then, we also have to remember that there's always a reason for every season, and maybe this needed to happen then too. Now, is he running again? Is he not? He is in a very dangerous position, just as Jesus was. Jesus wasn't arrested yet, even though they were already. And here is our President Trump, who's just, what are the Democrats and the Republicans so afraid of if he gets back into office? What are they so afraid of? What has he done so right that now they're afraid of? He could just be doing some more right if he gets in for another 4 years. Oh, I don't know if there's a break in between. Could you be in for another 8 years? Well, he's getting up there in age too, right? Yes? Okay. It is very interesting to me if I look at that from a biblical standpoint and compare on what happened to Jesus and what is happening now to a rightful President Trump. Interesting to me. Yeah? Yes? Okay, one could say, well, interesting to me. Have the times really so changed? Yeah. Okay. Not really, because as I said, some of the things that I've seen with the completed testament, the people involved there, and what is happening now, interesting. Very interesting. Very sad. On top of that. So here's my last thing on this. FEMA's been here, I guess still going around, this snap. There was a trailer that was submerged in water. You could see the roof and maybe a couple of feet of the house, and FEMA decided that, yeah, that's the damage of that is about $176. Talked to some other people, one I just had recently here again on the porch, and it's laughable. As said in another post, I bet that President Biden's, fake President Biden's, I can't help it, people. I'm just, who the heck would vote for a president that we all knew was mentally not fit for office? I'm just not getting that. It's just not. This is right? Yeah. And of course, again, at Jesus' time, who was put on the cross and who was let go? The criminal. Wow. Oh, okay. Well, well, if that doesn't ring a bell right now. Good police officers going to jail while criminals are being heroes. Great! Woohoo! All right then. It is amazing on who's winning when it comes down to it. Yeah. Jake, what do you want, boy? What's the matter? What do you want? Huh? Are you with me? He's with me. Here, don't mess with this dude. He was out there all by himself. We had some visitors coming. One of them he knew, the other one didn't. And his hackles were up. This one, the other one, Bo had to be inside. And he's already on his own. He was, let's check this dude out first. Right? Yeah. Don't mess with our family here. All right, come on, please, buddy. I'm sure that Biden's trip here to Hazard costs more than FEMA has given out yet to people. Now here's my thing. Anything. I was taught since young, as a child, by my mom, you do not give the least that you have when people are in need. You give the best of what you have. And you keep the least. Because you're still in better condition than they will be with the best you have to give. Here, our government, FEMA, giving the least they can afford to give. Because of what? Okay, not going to get into that. The least. The worst of what they have. Instead of the people who are making them. When they're in distress, when they need help, they should be giving the best of what they got. But we're getting the worst, the least. The ones that need it here, right now. That's our government right now. I wonder if our rightfully truthful President Trump would be in office on how that would have been dealt with. I wonder. Be interesting to ask him. Right? Yes? Okay. Somebody maybe should ask him that question. How would you have dealt with this? I don't know. After he's seen it, he said, well, I'm going to give them no... I don't know. I'd say he's better than that. Interesting. That our government, with all them old people in there, and how greedy and power hungry they are, and are making sure that they get the best of the best of the best. And when the people in their own country are in need, are getting the worst and the least they have to offer. That's very sad. I know better than that. I am doing better than that. So, I've said my say. If there are any, don't know if there are still righteous, proper people in the FBI, then you should stand together and come forward and expose on what's been going on there, and expose on what a sorry bunch you all have become. That's what I have to say here. One more thing. Yes, I've seen the poor girl that's in Russia that's being held and has now served 9.5 years in prison there due to trafficking drugs. That's really sad. Yep. I mean, who wants to see that for any of our own in another country? Yeah, how hypocritical. I know someone real close by whose son went to jail for trafficking just a little bit of marijuana here in the United States for 10 years. Ended up in jail for 10 years. No parole, no nothing. Ended up sitting 10 years in jail for a little bit of marijuana in our country. Nobody feels sorry for him. Nobody's praying for him. And oh my gosh, you know, oh, he can't be with his family and this and that. This is in our own country. This is happening in another country where wouldn't be stupid enough to bring drugs into another country and then get caught with it. Especially a place like Russia. I'm just saying. Okay. Alright. This isn't a hearsay story on my side. This is a first-hand story. So, okay then. Yeah, just saying. Okay. Yeah, well, like guess she'll have to sit the 9.5 years. Maybe not. After 3 years or something, I'll say, done feeding you and housing you and I don't know what, you can go home. Okay? Well, just saying. Huh? Who's so important in this country and who's not? Huh? Who gets the la-di-da, treatment, sympathy, and empathy, and who doesn't? Right in our own midst. Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, just saying. It ain't just happening in Russia. God's love and blessings always, and I will talk to y'all another time.